Let me meet my angels. How are you all? So obviously today I am going to be doing my crafting, and I'm going to be putting my fairy on my wall, and I'm also going to be doing my butterflies so that I can put them onto my string yards and stuff like that. It is a little bit late and stuff like that, but Willow is here and I'm going to be doing these crafting bits. Now, anybody that knows me, I'm nocturnal. I'm more awake and more with it at night than I am in the daytime. But I just like to mosey on and do stuff through the day that's light and easy. But at night is when my energy and everything really does come to light for some reason. It always has ever since I'm young. So all today, I've just been getting myself all vaped up and ready, viped up and ready. And now I'm going to start crafting. So the fairy that I'm putting onto the wall is this one. I'll put it over onto my other side as well so you can see. So she's going to be going onto my wall over here. So it's going to be quite interesting to see. And I've put the laptop on as well because then I can see what you guys are writing in the room. And on top of that, if anything weird flies about in that, you might see it. And this phone will be focused on where I am and where I'm doing the crafting. So yeah, we're going to be starting off with the fairy bit and getting that on the wall first. Going to choose my colours. I've got my plate here ready to put the paints out on. I've got my green paints in their little pots. Everything's here and waiting. So it's going to be really exciting, and I've been waiting for ages to do this. So I'm going to do it, and I did finally choose the fairy I wanted. Couldn't really see her. I don't know if you can see her better now that I put her onto the plate. But that is what she looks like. But you will see her on the wall anyway. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And I'm going to put my stool over it so I can sit while I'm doing it. I'm going to move Dash's food bowl just over a little bit so that I can get the chair down there without hurting myself. So we're going to turn this one round because it's going to be here. We will move the laptop to this angle. So you can still see me sitting over here. You just can't see as much of what I'm doing compared to the other one, which is why I'm going to put this one on a larger screen. And if I can do it so that I have both of them. So I want this one as the big one. And it doesn't let me put the video on. So yeah, that's the bigger screen. On the other one, you'll be able to see the other angle. I'm just got to get this into its position. So as I said, I'm going to be painting here on this wall. Okay, so I need to get you into a position so that you can actually see what I'm doing. But like I said, I want to move Dash's food bowl out the way. It's got water and I don't want, if my phone decides to slip off, which it does that sometimes, we could be in for a disaster. So we're going to do it about here. Okay, so we just bring it down slightly so you can see it. And this is where it's going to go. First, I'm just going to get my stencil and just put it onto the table so that I can put sellotape on it to put it onto the wall, because the other day when I tried doing it on the wall, it didn't really go the way I wanted it to. So if I do it on a flat surface, I've got more of a chance of getting it onto the wall better. Hope that you're all okay, my darlings, my angels. flicking it on so that I know that it's on there. Do this side. That's quite big enough, but it doesn't matter because as long as it holds they're in place, I'm happy. So we have the stencil bit over here, and we're now just going to put that onto the wall. So we're going to put her about here, make sure she's flat because I want to get it on perfect. She's flat, good. And she's going to look beautiful. Now what I might do is bring my little lampshade. If I move this down for the time being, bring my lampshade because I think we're going to need a little bit more light onto the wall. So need to be able to see what I'm doing with that. Go down when I start. So we want a little bit more light in that area. So we're going to have a little bit more light in that area. We're going to lay my lamp onto its side because it'll be easier and I'll be able to see what I'm doing a lot easier. That's perfect. Move you to there. Move that back a little bit so it's not interfering with the picture for the time being. Apologise, Hecate. So yeah, got my stool to sit on right here. Should be interesting. If I have to get on my knees, I will get on my knees and do it. But yeah, so I've got some music that I'm going to put on as well, so that we've got something to listen to while I'm doing it. And as I said, when I'm painting, I'm not really going to be looking at chatting if I get up and stuff. But I have got you here. I can see you. And hello to Wayne Hopkins. How are you? So I've got my paintbrushes. I have got my water to keep them hydrated. I've got my, well, I've got some of my paints here. I'm going to probably use the brown for the trunk. I'm probably going to put a bit of red into it, definitely. It's definitely going to be a bit of yellow. And a white we're definitely going to need. So those ones we're keeping in the pots. Then what I'm thinking, because I'm going to do her hair a white colour. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just squirt a little bit of, just trying to think of what colours I want. So I'm going to have like an organdy brown to do her hair. One thing I do need to get some tissue. That's one thing I've got. We'll probably go into the some red. It's like a reddy orange. That's pretty. I'll probably do some blue. So I'm going to do this blue. I had to take all my nail varnish off due to the paint last time. And I said I was going to get it over my fingers again. I was not wrong. And the other day, I've done this without my glasses on, so today I've decided glasses is a must. As I said in my previous videos as well, I am no artist, guys. I just do everything the best that I can. And all of my stuff comes from vision and things that I see. So I don't need to worry about getting on too much. So I've got some brown, got some red, and got some blue. Okay. And then I've obviously got the greens here, and I've got the yellow, the red here as well. I've got the brownish colour that I'm going to be using for the trunk, and white to just bring certain areas out of it. So we've got everything where we want it. I'm going to stick these little pots onto here. I'll have that on here. Yeah, this is going to be interesting because I don't normally do this sort of stuff on line, but I wanted to. So we're going to get the music on, and we're going to have some fun, and we're going to watch me create, and then we're going to start the butterfly part as well. So I don't know how long I'm going to be online for, guys, but I am here, and this needs doing. Tomorrow I'm doing garden prep, getting all my wood out of the way, ready for the corner that I'm making my fairy garden in. So all the wood and that's going to be removed on Monday, which is really good. And I'm only going to be left with the wood that I'm keeping to put under the tank and to make for the stand for the roof for the top fairy house. So it's going to be quite interesting. So yeah, all of this crafting and stuff like this, it's so easy to do, guys. If you've got a creative mind and you're really connected to something and you really want that to be part of you because it makes you feel good, it makes you feel strong, it makes you feel connected, then do it. I am fairy and I am a witch, but I am fairy, born fairy. So I feel at home when I'm with them and when I'm with nature and stuff like that. And I want to be able to feel like I'm at home, so here I am. I've made my room into a place that I can relax and calm and enjoy. So we're going to get started. What I might do is just use this table bit here just to put the water on, to put all the paints on so I can actually get to them and not sit on it. I'll kneel on the floor because it's going to be easier to kneel on the floor to do this, I think. So just coming past you guys. So it's not in the way. So yeah, gonna be here doing this painting. So we're gonna be right here. And I've got my glasses stuck with my hair. Second pull. Not today, thank you. It looks beautiful. And so we're going to just start with her hair, which is going to be the brown. doing her hair. Don't worry if you go into the bits. Just try not to get them in the other areas where you have got a painting. She has got a bit of 2 minutes, guys. So I've just got to get the black to do her eyes. Okay. Put these lids back onto the paint. So this is what it looks like. Just got to take it out. I think it looks pretty awesome, guys. The other one don't seem, the other camera don't seem to be seeing anything else. So, thank you, Jacqueline, my darling. How are you, sis? Next will be butterflies, but I'm going to take a little break first. But first, I just want to show everybody what it looks like up close. Right, and now what I'm going to do in a minute is take it off the wall. And that'll be our moment of truth of how well she actually looks. Right, am I back? Yeah. Right, okay. So what I was saying before I cut myself off like an idiot, I'm going to remove the stencil, and then all of the beauty will be underneath it. So hopefully it looks really, really good. My eyes are a bit dazed from where I've been wearing the glasses and I've had the light shining right on it, but moment of truth, guys. I've noticed some of that hasn't been painted on. Good job I noticed that. When you're painting on top of green, it's so easy to forget this and you realise you haven't done it. It's got lots of green over my fingers. I've got these bits. Paint it. To be all in. Make sure I haven't got anything else down here. Right, try again. I'm going to take this off. Oh my god. She's stunning. Get this over to here a minute. She's like a fairy sort of goddess sort of thing. Oh my god, she's beautiful. I don't know if you can see this properly. And we're going to go over here for a minute and let that dry for 5 minutes. So all I'm going to do now is move this all out, because the only ones we're going to need are the green paints, because we're going to be doing the butterflies and that in a little bit. So everything else can go away. Just the greens for the oh, and a bit of white. So these are going to be the paints that we're going to be needing for the butterflies. What I'm going to do is just get all of this paint away. I can go back into my bag for the time being. These are done as well. I can't get over how pretty it is. It's so beautiful on that wall. Just gonna move these paints and everything out because of Boo. I will be back. Let me just go and move these. Paint, and the paint is going to have to go in the wash, because these are stencils I'm using for all of my art crafts and for the bits that I'll be selling. On a wall it's a lot harder to put the stencils and stuff on, but on wood, when it's flat, it's going to look amazing. It looks like it does now, and that's stunning. So you imagine what it's going to be like on the wood. Right, so just wash my hands, just put all of the paint bits I've used um, into some hot water and soap in the sink, because it is only acrylic paint, so it's fine using that. We're going to move this chair back over to here, because I'm going to be using that in a bit. Move through. Using the butterfly. It is a late one for me, but there you go. I do love doing this. It is one of my favourite things to do. Is getting creative, and I don't do it very often. It's about time I start getting my ass back into what I'm good at. As I said to you the other day on the stream, I'm not really very good with the drawing side of things, but designing and art and things like that, yeah, definitely. Right, I'm just going to turn my camera off for a bit, guys, but I am still here and talking. So yeah, we're going to listen to a bit of music for a couple of minutes. Let me have a break. And we'll get back to things after. After I've done the butterflies, if it's not too late, I will show you pictures, like some of my bits for my business and stuff that I've got. If not, I'll do a stream tomorrow at some point. Probably will do a stream tomorrow, probably better, to show you everything that I'm going to be doing in my business and stuff like that. For anyone that doesn't know, I am trying to get my business going for doing all things fairy, so fairy 4D, doing signs, furniture, and figurines, art pieces like what I've done on the wall, bottles of wood and stuff, using resin and using crafting moulds, which is a powder that's a bit like clay and that, but you use it to make beautiful bits, and you can put it into resin molds and stuff like that. So fairy doors and stuff as well, fairy houses, and painting them and decorating them. This is something that I really, really want to do. I'm really excited about doing it. So you have to see how we go and how it works out. Maybe to see if there's anybody else in the other room. When you've got a lot of light on and that, it plays with your eyes big time. So yeah, I'm gonna a little while, have a little break, have a cigarette, but I don't have my camera on when I have a cigarette because YouTube don't like it. So yeah. So we've just got my stunning fairy done on the wall. Now I was meant to have done that yesterday, but I wasn't feeling 100% yesterday to be doing it. Lady things as usual. So I wasn't really up to it. So today I decided it'd be a good idea to start it now and do it today while I'm in the mood. Still sore and my illness is playing up, but it's bearable. And that's what counts, which is good. To see these in the upper room as well. So I've got one up, but I haven't got the other one up. Hopefully it's so yeah, I've got you on both screens so I can see you on both. I just haven't got you on the other one yet. For some reason it's something else. Just so that I can see who's in the rooms and who's talking. So obviously we've got my got in here. That's nice. Oh, a poll test. And says hi, hello, and Wayne's in here. It's really nice to see you both. It is coming up to 11:15, so I don't know how many of these butterflies I'm going to get done, but I'm going to do my best to do as many as I can. So my plan with my butterflies is obviously my room is very much characterised to my one of my other favourite colours and to my fairyland, okay? So it's very green and it's got beautiful bits of it. So I'm going to be painting my butterflies in a green, different shades of greens, and then I'm going to be putting silver and green glitters onto the wings just to make them sparkle a little bit. So something simple, and it shouldn't take me too long. I'm going to do them a couple at a time so that they get done quicker. And it shouldn't take me long. There's 51 butterflies I've got. So I'm going to try to paint them so that I've got them fit in here and for in the hallway. But what I might do is just paint the ones for the bedroom tonight and do the rest of them when I've mainly got the hallway done, because the hallway I'm doing in a nature sort of theme as well. But with this one, it'll be vines and stuff painted over the walls, and then all of the fairy and the woodland energies that I brought on different pictures and frames and stuff. I'm going to be putting them up onto the hallway, along with a couple of my stencils. So my witch's stencil, I've got a witch's hat stencil, a witch's stencil. I've got some element stencils that I'm wanting to put in there as well. So yeah, it's going to look really beautiful when it's done. And obviously I've got leaves and I'm going to have flowers and stuff on there. So it's going to look really beautiful. Once I've done that, then I'll be able to stick my butterflies out. Yeah, they have been told about the fairy area in here and in the garden. I'm making 2 new areas in the garden though, and that's going to be done live as well. I'm getting all of my wood moved today on Monday, apart from the bits that I need to put under my tank. My tank's going to be put onto its side, and that and a big green bed thing that I used to use for Dash. And I've washed it all out. That's what I'm going to be doing, is washing it, cleaning it, and putting black sacks in it. And I'm going to have 2 fairy areas in the corner near where my back door is, on the stone bit where the tank sits at the minute, that I've showed you plenty of times. So there's going to be 2 little fairy areas there as well, along with some flowers and some herbs and stuff. I'm going to grow a little fence to put around it. So there's going to be more veneration for fairy villages in the garden. Sticking to the name, Willows Valley, but it's going to be, you know, so I've got Willows Valley. The others in here is Willows Village, and out where the 2 places are going to be, that's going to be Willow Valley Meadow. Okay, so we've got Willow Valley, which is the first one that you've seen. We have got Willow Valley Village, which is the one that's in my bedroom, and then we're going to have Willow Valley Meadow, which is going to be all out in the garden again. And it's going to look so beautiful when it's done, and it's going to have lights and stuff put up with it. I'm going to be painting the tank and putting mushrooms and stuff on there, sticking mushrooms and stuff on, and butterflies and stuff. Doing the same with the old bed that used to be Dashes that I'm now turning into a fairy village area. So yeah, that's going to have all butterflies and mushrooms over it as well. Obviously it'll be mud inside both the tank and in the little unit thing I've got. It's quite a big unit actually. There's going to be different sorts of fairy houses, some bought, some made by me. There'll be a couple of little fairy figurines put into there as well. There's going to be all stones and cobbles and bits of glitter put into them. There's going to be a roof on the top one that isn't the tank, so when it rains they stay dry. I'm making 2 little plastic pots I've got. I'm going to bury that into the mud and make an area for their bathing so that they can bath and clean, and the other one's going to be for what they're well, okay, so that they can cook and they can water their gardens and drink. So I'm going to be doing that into both of them as well, make it really cool. And then all of the fairies can use all of the houses, they can share the water. Obviously the fae that hang out near me all are very aware of each other and share with each other. So yeah, and there's a lot of them. So yeah, they've got plenty of houses to live in and come and go when they want. It's not like what we do when we live in these houses and we live here permanently. Like their houses give them somewhere to stay while they're here, but also it's a doorway to their realm as well. So all of the houses and things we reward them and give them is given over to them where they are. And we look at them and we think, oh my God, they're so small, the houses. How would they even fit in them? They're magic. Fairies are magic. And what may seem small on the outside is large on the inside. They're like our little castles and mansions inside. It all just goes huge and massive because they're in a realm where everything is so much more bigger. Like I said to you, their realm is very similar to our realm. Got the same nature sort of way, the same seasons. The only thing is the flowers, the trees and things like that grow so much more bigger, so much more vibrant, so much more beautiful in colour. They've got certain plants and things over there that are no longer in this planet because it's either died off or it's become extinct. Same with the animals over there. They've got a lot of excuse me, they've got a lot of animals over there that are here as well. They may look slightly different, but they are very similar. So there's a lot over there that we don't have here anymore because here we destroy our planet, we do bad things to our planet, we do bad things to each other. Over there everything is untouched, there's no pollution, there isn't anything that makes their natural habitat die. They don't destroy it and take it away like we do. So it's just so much more vibrant, so much more beautiful. And yeah, there's glitter and glisten and sparkly energy there because of the light and the colours and things like that. They're just truly remarkable. If you walk, when you walk into their realm, it is like walking into ours. It's just their realm's the way that our realm should be. If we'd have looked after it, our realm would have been the same way. So it's exciting. It is exciting. So just bring it to light in here so you guys get to see what it looks like. So obviously my bedroom's nearly done now, so I've just got to put the butterflies up. I want to get some of my glue and stick some of my leaves, individual leaves I've got, and stick them onto my curtains here to give that a little bit more bejazzle. I need to get a little bit more ivy to go round the bed and to go round the round my hanging curtain thing that I've got over my bed, just to make it more enchanting and more beautiful. But apart from that, everything is done. I've only got a few very small bits to do. Then I can start on my bathroom, not my bathroom, my bed, on my hallway, because my bathroom is being decorated by my house in, and I'm going to ask them to do that in the blue, so I can put all my mermaid and sea sort of feature in there. So we've got Willow's fairy den, which is my bedroom. You've got Willow's witchy den, which is my front room and my secret space where I do all my ritual and I help people and give people advice, give them readings, do healing, do that sort of thing. I've got my beautiful enchanted garden outside, which is dedicated and ritual done so that they have my garden. And I will do a similar thing in here, but the ritual that's done in here will be a lot shorter because they're already aware of the place outside. And the wording will be slightly different as well because this house does belong to me, but it'll be a ritual saying that they're welcome to be here and to, you know, habitate their houses, to come and go as they please, as long as they're in positive energy and things like that. You still have to introduce them and invite them. So once I've done, they're like at the minute, obviously my fairy house, I've done a little prayer to them, so that they're aware of that. And a lot of my main fairies live in my houses that are in my bedroom, but I've got a lot of other ones that at the minute kind of come and go through the houses I've already got outside. But once I get these other ones up and running, they'll have other places they can come to. Now I have had some people say to me that because you've got fairy houses and stuff like that, does that mean that the fairies live with you constantly? No, the fairies are free spirit. They're free energy, okay? They go all places. They know lots of people, work with lots of people. It's just certain people they have a very, very strong connection with. And sometimes these people they have connection with have a family link from their realm because they've been that way, which is what is with me. So even though my angels and me look at each other, that we belong to each other, they don't stay here permanently. They go off and do their own thing. They go and help other people. They look after other people's gardens and they still do things in nature. If they just have somewhere that they can come here to be safe and to feel comfortable, and a lot of my angels do come and stay here, stay in the houses that takes them to their realm. So that's what happens. So no, when you give fairies fairy houses, it doesn't make them permanently stay with you and nobody else. They still do their thing. It's just that they know they have a place where they can come with their loved ones. I think it's really important to like explain that. And another thing I always explain to people as well, like you'll see me do all these beautiful things, and you're all probably sitting there thinking, oh, you know, I want to do all of that. Is one of them. I want to do a fairy garden, or I want to make a fairy bedroom and stuff. Like making a fairy bedroom itself is fine, but if you're going to start putting fairy doors and fairy houses in your home, then that is a instant invitation to the fae to be able to come into your home. So if you're not wanting the fairies to be in your home, don't put houses and fairy doors in your house. You can have them outside, they can come and go outside if they want, but if you don't want them in your house, don't put it in your house. only put things like fairy houses and fairy doors in your house if you know your fae for very well, you've worked with them for years, and you know that you can trust them and they can trust you before you decide to do anything like that. Because it can come with risk if you're doing it with some energy or fae that you don't really know and just getting to know. You really do need to have an established relationship with them and understand them, or at least be around people that know about them to help you. Always make sure that you ask for the fae of the light and that you don't invite negative. Does it always keep them away, the negative ones? No, but it keeps you protected, and that's really important for fae. As much as I tell you about how beautiful and lovely and enchanting they are, and they can be completely the opposite if you upset them or do anything to them. And they are very trickster sometimes and mischievous, like to play tricks. They are that sort of playful energy. And some of them don't do it for being playful, they do it because they're just not nice. These are normally the darker form of the fae. Again, not evil, just they're the fae that don't want to introduce you or entertain you because they don't like us because of what we do and how we act as humanity. And then you've got the beautiful ones that are okay with us that are in the light area. So, but even with them, you have to be careful. Sometimes they can be funny with you. Sometimes they don't want to talk to you. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they just want to be left alone. Sometimes they don't. You know, it's really up to them. It's no different with me. Sometimes, like, I just say, not today, guys. I just want to be left alone, and they'll understand. We have a mutual understanding because they've been in my life since I was 5 years old. I'm now 42 years old, so I've known them for a very, very long time. When I say to fully be able to trust your faith, to even do things like accept food or anything from them, you really need to know them. And to a lot of people, they say not to do that. Never ever accept food in fairy dreams when you have dreams about them. Do not accept food from them when you're in their realm. But if you're in your own place and you're putting food out and they give you a little bit of food back to show their respect and honour to you, I take it because I know my fae really, really well. And I've known them for years and I've never done anything to me that's put me in risk or in jeopardy, and I haven't to them. So for me, it's okay. But for people like you that are just starting out to get to know them and things like that, I'd be very wary about taking food from them. Don't go into their areas and just think it's okay to pick their food and berries and things that we would normally eat. Always ask permission. Because their rules and the way that they act and they think are completely different to us. And it's really important to remember that. So if you don't know your fae very well and you've not been around them long enough, don't accept any food or anything from them. You've got to have been working with them for years and know them really well to do that. Most people don't. To be honest, 9 times out of 10, I don't take food from the fae. The only time I do is if I'm out and I'm taking berries and stuff, and I ask them, they say yes. Or if they say, oh, there's some blackberries growing over there, you're okay to take them, then I'll do it because they gave me that permission. And, you know, every now and again, you know, if I put some cake out for them and they've offered me a bit of cake back, I have took that. But when it comes to eating all their big foods and things that they're really into, I don't. I only eat the things that I've made for myself and for them. So, yeah. And nature's made for growing food for us to be able to eat, but it's not there to just take. You ask. Yeah, so at the minute we're just listening to some music. I've got my camera off because I am smoking. Like I said to you, I will not smoke on camera because YouTube don't like it. And apparently it makes it look really unprofessional. So I am sitting with my camera off at the minute. And yeah, they have all of my angels that are outside have come in and seen inside. They absolutely love this bedroom. And that's what I said. Half of my angels out there are ones that have been connected to me for a very long time. And they've decided that they're going to claim some of the houses that are in here. in my bedroom. So yeah, they have houses everywhere. Like as I said to you, with the Fae, pixies, and all types of fairies, they're all in one realm, just all different breed of Fae, and you know they all share and use the houses together. Like from where they are, the realms are huge, so they're never going to be on top of each other. So they use the houses to resting in the day when they're not really going back and forth to their realms, and they're staying here because they're doing things in the woodlands and in the forests, in the gardens. They have houses they can come back to. Then they normally come back here at night, like really late after they've finished doing all of their duties and things they have to do. And that's where they go. It is lovely. And you know, when you've learned and lived with them for a long time, you kind of get to know their characteristics. And it's really beautiful if you are sure of wanting to give them houses now, because it gives them somewhere that's safe, somewhere that's secure, and they know that they ain't going to come to no harm there, especially in my garden and in here, because it's all been done so that they're protected and energy here is protected. Um, when they come here, they can just be themselves, and they're loved and they're respected. And with being a fairy myself, their energy here, that we enjoy being around each other, we enjoy each other's company, and they do come here a lot. They're probably here 9 times out of 10, coming and going. The ones that intend to stay around me more is Liara, Clara, Primrose, those ones that have been with me since I was 5. So, and I say it like that because in the fairy realm, just like in our world, there are different colonies and different places for them in the fairy realm, the spirit realm. Okay, so even though they all work together and all that, they all have their own distinct characteristics and their own beliefs and their own ways of working. So Kalara's colony and Primrose's colony and Liara's colony are all the same. They are sisters and they are connected to me. I was once a sister there. Now, but you've got to remember, it's like, how can they have so many sisters? In the fairy realm, fairies don't give birth to just one child. They can, which is normally the elven, 1 or 2. But fairies herself will give birth to many, many babies, because a lot of them will lay eggs or um, fertilise certain flowers and let grow within the flowers and stuff like that, and in their realms, away from harm's way. And then when they are born and they get to an age where they can fly and understand, they start to come into our realm with them and start doing their work and their duty. And something you need to remember is the fae folk children are so much more far advanced than what our kids would be. They walk, talk, and do things a lot quicker than what our kids do. It's fascinating. It is fascinating. And, you know, Primrose, Liara, and Clara's colony is just one of about 5 or 6 colonies I know. There's a few different ones. I know an elven colony. A lot of the wording and the speech that I use, wording ways, not my light language, my normal fairy language, is actually elven language, but it's also used to be able to talk to the fae. The fae actually understand it as well, because they're all from the same place. So when I want to talk to them privately and I want to say things to them that I don't want other people to know, I will speak to them in the elven, in the fairy language. Okay, I call it elven fairy language because a lot of people do call it that, because it is talking to both of them, but it is legitimately known as elven language because the fae themselves don't have a set language. They speak completely different. You've heard some of it in my light language, and it's not so much they have a vocabulary or wording it's more sound and things. Yes, they can talk. They will talk in our language to us so we understand, but they don't have the same sort of vocabulary as what we do. Okay, sweetheart, and how are you, darling? It's been a long time since I've seen you, darling. Hope you and the family are all right and enjoy your breakfast. What you're having for breakfast? When you say thank you to the fae in our language, it's very offensive and that. Now, to the elven folk, fairies no, never say thank you or anything to the fairies, but to the elven folk, it's okay to thank them and things like that. They're a little bit different to the fae, even though they're from the same realm. They're very human-like, and they don't look human-like. They're very beautiful, very stunning. They're really tall or really small. They do have the most beautifulest skin and complexion to them, but they're the most closest vocabulary in the fairy world that is closest to human. Okay, so there are some things that they accept where the fairies will not. So still, never ever say to fairies and pixies and things thank you or even apologise to them. But to the elven folk you can. So while I'm sitting here and I'm having a smoke and before I start doing these butterfly things, maybe I could just go through a couple of like little tell you a couple of the different words and stuff that they say. Now stop chewing yourself, I can hear you. Abelis is sorry or apology. Allah is home. Asan is arrow. Athisha is peace. Dearth is tell or speak. Elven is our people in their word, in their language. Heron is elder or leader. Lefelion is male. Lefalien is female. Elvenin is ancient elven civilization. Eleven is the ancient magic and the mirror that the Fae and the Elven of the Elven and the Fae folk. Shemainen or Shen is human. What's your name is Ruwa Wilo Bit Tira. My name is Sil Tira Wa. Where is the toilet? Tam Wai Iya Vastatom. Good morning is Ves. Sun Ear. Good afternoon is Ves Ear Bar. Good night is Ves Starven. Farewell is Bear Kia Lik Kyong. I'm sorry is Turlin. You're welcome is We El Rin Asha. Please is Fayna. Thank you is Ora or Wella. Yes is Key. No is Bahas. I understand is J-Jan, T-Jan, Va Ear. I hate is Kalanai. Love it is Kalanai. Yeah. I love you is Merlin Gin. Greetings is Siliud. Well-be is Kioro May. Farewell is Namari. Father is Ada or Ada. Light is Galad. Dust is Loom. Melon is friend. And Rose is Mirel. Mountain peak is Bien. The land of young is Tirnanok. Sea deep is Fairy Mount. White fair blessed white and fair is blessed Gulwin. Dusk magic is Droyo, and hail is Anya. Aiden is father of man. Alin is lake pod. Aha is rage. Aya is Ania is holy. Anu is holy one. Elder is tree. Elkwala swan. Am Amradil is priest. Amon is hill. Amil is mother. An is long. Pinkia is jaw. Andu is gate. Aniga is iron. Anna is gift. Anod is tree guardians. And Nito is mouth. Arda is region, sorry. Air is sunlight. Aska is hurry. Aten is father of man. Avri is unwilling. Ais is sea. Bar is dwelling. And Barad is tower. Bragle is sudden. Brethil is silver birch. Talin is green. Kalama is lamb. Salab is silver. Carter is runes. Coron is mound. Graben is crow. And Q is bow. Hello. Curvi is awakening. Day is shadow. Diara is descend. Del is horror. Din is silent. Dinner is be silent. Dol is head. Door is land. Drew is wolf. Duin is river. Jaw is dark. Ear is sea. Edhel is elf. Edril is open. Elin is star. Endor is middle earth. Erin is woods and forest. Segel is hiding. And Essie is name. Estelle is both is hope. Estelia is trust. Ithiel is spring. Fourth is hunt and pursue. Fae is spirit. Finn is hair. Fawn is north. Fune, gloom, is darkness. Gil is star. Julf is death. Gawanda is brother. Guathel is sister. Lewin is blue. Nidujina is kill. Nin is mine. Numinous west. Parama is book. Turindai is speakers. And Kyuri is good day. Smile is starlight. No. Silmi is starlight. Tinko is metal. Tali Tala is bravery. Tar is high. Tior is forest. Yolorki is hot and heat and hot. And Vala is mighty. That is just some of the words of Elven and Fae language. Obviously more for the Elven, but if you spoke in these words, talking to the Fae, fairies and things as well, they will understand. There are a lot more, but they're just some of what I've read out. A lot of the Fae realm, whether they're Elven, Fairy, picking up, will talk to you in your language because it's what we understand. But it's always good to know bits of their language in case at times you need to speak to them about something that others are not supposed to know. mould sitting here. To be honest, I'll try just to keep myself off the camera if I pick my cigarette up. But let me show you some of the moulds and stuff that I'm going to be using to start my business. So obviously, like I said, I'm going to be making a lot of fairy doors and other things. So we've got some like little fairy stencils. Let me see if I can bring that up to larger so you can actually see it. So there's a couple of my fairy doors that I'm going to be doing. Weller, yes. Little fairy house. I'll obviously be using resin or the mould for that. Got some little fairy light bits so that if people want to put fairy lights, lamps round on their fairy gardens, they can, and I'll decorate them with like ivy and bits, and paint the inside bit here, the low bit, a yellow, so that it's like they're on. And I've got lots of different little fairy stencils. So this one is bumblebees with a little flower. As we all know, our fairies and energies like that absolutely love their bumblebees. So do I. Yeah, I've got a beautiful mould of one of my fairies. Can't wait to do her. Some little mushrooms, which will go on to my art pieces that I do on wood and stuff. I've got a bit of a glitch for some reason, guys, so I do apologise. Oh, on my back? Yeah, I think so. Another fairy house. Fairy house. Some more flowers. These are all going to be used on, yeah, they're moulds, yes. These are all moulds. And when I've got wood and stuff like that, so I'm going to be making fairy art pictures. So putting fairies and that in it and putting flowers and 3D flowers, mushrooms and stuff on it to make it really pretty. Yeah. Um, doing a couple of my usual bits as well, my normal bits at my witchy side. So it'd be like, yeah, you know, moon and sun and things like that. Yeah, I'm making them with the resin and also with like a sort of a plaster, yeah. So you've got a moon and a star, got a butterfly, and a sun. Fairy door. And obviously when I do these, I paint them on and decorate them. I'll put 3D things like little flowers and little bits that I've got. Another fairy house, fairy door. You could use them for either. Or put them into things, as I'm going to do as well. I think this is my little angel that I love. I think she's absolutely adorable. Now trying to open the packet there. Does not seem very easy. Fairy on a moon. Some little flowers. Another fairy house door. All flower mold. This is a fairy house mold. So you've got the door here. You've got the windows and the back. You've got the window at the top. So you've got a little fairy house. So we're going to be making fairy houses. Thank you, Jacqueline, my honey. I'm doing it because I want to bring my enchantment and my world to other people so that they can see it. We've got different outside scenery, mushrooms and little bushes and stuff. Mushrooms with flowers on them. Another fairy house. And obviously when I do it, I'm going to be obviously moulding them with the resin and the sort of modelling clays and stuff. So I'll be doing them, and then I'll be painting them and putting sparkles like bits of stone and bits of glitter. I'll be making fairy crowns and stuff as well, but you're going to be seeing all of this. Another fairy, another fairy. I do need to get a couple of more models of them. So some beautiful leaves, which will be ideal for all my kitchen. There you got your little mushrooms. To make little fairy ones, I thought this would be ideal. Just to make a wand and put copper around it, maybe put some little stones and a little crystal on the top, you know, and a bit of ivy and that to make little fairy wands. Another fairy house that I've got. Just get it out. And that one's got love hearts on the roof. So these would be full size fairy houses. And you've got another one here as well, which is a leafy one. It's another fairy house. I'm just going to have leaves and that. You'll see it so much better when I actually do the casting and you see it. I'm going to be starting that up in the next couple of weeks. Probably going to be starting off with doing some fairy crowns. I'm also going to be buying fairy, like, I'm going to be buying clothing that is like got nothing on it, just in the shape that I want. I'm going to do that in dresses and skirts and tops and corsets and stuff. And then I'm going to decorate them all up and make them all fairy-like, like what I do. And there's these things that I sell. And I'm going to be making fairy crowns from scratch. These are what I was thinking to do, little picture arts of fairy bits. So I could have a little fairy in here, some mushrooms, bumblebees and butterflies and things like that. And just making it really magical. I could do one with like a fairy with the moon and like greenery and things around it, like just making really beautiful things, as well as doing it on wood. I want to do bits in here as well. So that's one bit that I'm using. I think I've still got bits in there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then I've got this I absolutely love this. So what I'm going to do is do some fairy cleansing dishes. So what you do is you pull the mould into here, and then when it's done, you just pull it out gently, and it will reveal the mould, which is this shape. So it's a leaf, okay? And I'm going to make them into smudging dishes, okay? So you can do your cleansings and your blessings on there. If you want to use it as a dish to put like your little fairy bits on, things like that, an offering dish for your fairies, things like that, you can use that. And I'm going to have them in beautiful colours. And because this is just literally an open thing. So what I was thinking is just doing pictures and stuff into this, and then people can use them as little mini altars or whatever they want to use them as. Then I've got a little flower here as well. She is adorable, and she's a bit like the leaf I've just shown you. So she comes out like that. So you fill up that bit, and that's the pattern of her. So when you get her out, she'll be in this shape, okay? And I was thinking that would be an ideal shape to stick a candle on. And you could have the candle burning on it, or you could just have it there as a decoration. You could stick keys on it, things like that. Whatever you wish to do with it. But yeah, these are my ideas, and these are what I'm wanting to do. Because, so all of those sort of molds. So yeah, making fairy doors, fairy houses, making fairy figurines. I'm wanting to make fairy jars where I'll put some fairy figures in and put them with mushrooms and leaves and stuff, and put like a set of little lights or something in it so it lights up. And obviously, like I said, making all of my carpets on wood, as in the little silicone thing I just showed you. Making fairy crowns, making the clothing, and then letters so I can put onto my signs. Making fairy signs, so like fairies live here, fairies home, fairy garden, enchanted by garden, enchanted by fairies. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of different things. I'm going to be making little fairy tags as well. You know, like the army and stuff, they get little tags with their names and stuff on it. But I'm going to make little wooden fairy tags. They're about that big. They're only little, and it just says I'm fairy, and then it's just going to have like a couple of like little mushrooms and stuff clicked onto it, and you can have it as a key ring and just have it on your keys, and it just symbolises you as a fairy. It'll be in different colours. There'll be like, you know, forest fairy, flower fairy, fire fairy, things like that. So I've got a lot of ideas, making wands and stuff as well. Making fairy doors, making mushrooms to make little pictures of my own. So doing really like what painters would do, but doing it with things I make. So I'll make all of the stuff, and then it'll be 3D. And in some of the pictures, like that really thick block, for instance, I could add mushrooms scattered on the first layer, then put a bit more of the resin on the top of it, and then put the fairy there. Let that dry, put the fairy there, then put resin over it, put a couple of butterflies around it, put resin there. Then I could do another layer and put flowers and stuff around her. So it looked like she's walking through something. That's my idea. That's what I wanted to do with like different types of fairy and their feature, depending on what they've got, a moon or whatever, butterflies, whatever. But yeah, making it so that it's 2D and it looks like it's alive and that she's walking through it. Using the micro powders to do sections of it, and then the rest of it would be a see-through, you know, resin with maybe a bit of glitter in it. But all of the objects that I would be using in them pictures will already have been painted, decorated, and made to look really beautiful anyway. So it's going to make the picture just look really cool. In that way, excuse me, sorry guys. Yeah, in that way, I'm really creative. Can I draw? No, I can't draw to save my life. That is one thing I can't do is draw. But I am really good with my imagination and putting things together and making things look really, really pretty and really beautiful. The same with my dress making and stuff. I wouldn't be able to make the dresses because I have arthritis in my hands and stuff, so it'd be really difficult for me to do all the sewing and things like that from scratch, doing the whole dress and everything. So I'll be buying blank canvases of skirts, dresses, and the tops, corsets that I get. And then what I'll be doing is adding the detail and the stuff onto it. So leaves, flowers, added bits of material, I'll sew that in. That's all right. You know, bits of sewing's all right. It's when you're trying to make full dresses. Some of these dresses can be so extravagant that they would take days and months to make, and I just don't have that sort of energy or power in my hands and stuff. So I will buy the outer template of the costume, no design on it, no style, and I will just cut it and make it how I want it. And I will add the bits I want on it. I'll put the leaves, the flowers, and all of the other beautiful things on there. My crowns I'll be making from scratch. I'm using metal crowns and I'm using plastic crown areas. And what they are is they're the Alice bands that you would normally have on your head, but I'm going to make them so that they're into crowns. I'll have string attached to them so that people can tie it up so it don't come off. And I'll be doing all sorts of things. I'll be making like fire and element crowns for like the fire fairies. I'll be making forest fairy crowns, flower fairy crowns, moon fairy crown. I'm going to be making bits like that and using like living wood and using the metal that you would use in floristry and stuff to form some of my work as well. I'm going to be making, obviously for the fire crowns, for the fire fairies, I'm going to be making it with flames. So I'm going to use metal to do that and put material that is red, orange and yellowish colours to just bring into it. Just to make it unique. Make it unique, definitely. I think I'm going to have it looking beautiful when I do them. Putting gems and diamantes and bits on it, flowers, leaves. You would like an interactive sculpture? What do you mean, sis? I hope that you like the music as well, my angels. This is really beautiful music. This is fairy music and it's called Midsummer Night in a Fairy Forest. Beautiful music. The next one is Elven. Yes, and that's what I want to do with the stuff. I don't want it so that it's just a plain picture that just sits on a board. I want it so it looks like it's alive. So there'll be like artificial flower leaves and petals and leaves and stuff put into it. There'll be 3D little butterflies and bumblebees and little honey pots and things like that. That you'll have like mushrooms of different sizes all coming through the picture and the fairy in the middle. It just look like she's walking through something, and that I want my work to look like it's alive. I want people to feel like they're in the picture, like when they look at it. So painting it all the way that I want it and glittering it all up and putting all the decorations and stuff is just going to be the outline of it. All I would need to do with the board itself, if I'm doing it onto wood, is paint that a green or a brown and put all of the stuff onto it, or a mix of brown and green. Obviously, if I'm doing it as a resin part, I can still put all those bits into the resin, but I would have to just do the outside of the utensil I'm using, make that green and glittery, and then obviously the inside would be clear, so it'd just be the outside and the back that would be like that, and then you would have fairy and all of the mushrooms and everything put in, and you would fill it up with just see-through resin. So you do the micro powders onto where you want it, and then you put the resin in on its own clear, and when it dries it'll just have all of the glitter on the different objects I've got. It'll have them all looking 3D and in different places. It'll just look really, really cool. But you do have to do things like that in a section. So I'd have to do the first bit, then let that dry, slightly dry, then add the fairy and add the other bits and just do it gradually. So that one will take me a while. And for the ones on the boards and stuff, it would be more, they'll be 3D and there'll just be leaves and stuff stuck onto it, and 3D mushrooms, 3D fairy and bits. It'll just look more living, not so much like just a picture you're looking at. It'll look more there, because obviously when I paint them, I'll paint them so that they do look like, and I will make them look really beautiful and really enchanting. So you won't be able to help but stare at them. So, and I intend to do that, and then obviously just some normal fairy figurines and bumblebee figurines. Do a few dragon ones and do molds and stuff, and just do them as basic things, but they'll still be really pretty, really sparkly, really beautiful. Yeah, I am thinking about doing some. I am thinking about making some fairy jewelry as well. But what I'm going to do is probably buy like some wire and have like the little cufflink bits, or I'm going to have a bit of fabric that will just fasten together, and I'm just going to put all different flowers and leaves onto the bracelets, so I can make fairy bracelets and fairy necklaces. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and obviously like fairy houses and fairy doors and stuff made as well. Make some fairy wands, make some normal wands for witches. I've got a lot of ideas and plans. And on top of that, obviously bringing in some of my floristry. I'm not going to be a full-blown floristry worker, guys. Like, yeah, I have my ideas for doing funerals and that, and I could still help people if they needed to have that sort of thing. But I'm going to use my flower expertise in my business as well. And what I'm going to do is, for all of the seasons and stuff, and for the different Sabbats that we celebrate, I'm going to make different wreaths and bouquets out of artificial flowers, and people can purchase them. Obviously, people living overseas, they would have to pay shipping and things like that. Everybody will have to pay shipping if they don't spend a certain amount. But yeah, you know, I'm looking to be able to do this for everybody, not just for people in my country, but other places. You would have to be prepared to pay for the shipping as well as what the items go. Afford it, but they're not going to be really cheap. That I'm putting my work to shame, because there's nothing worse than trying to because I have found that you need to put your work into it, and you take a lot of time and a lot of effort to do this sort of thing. So sitting there and only charging really, really small amounts is you're not really getting what you're getting from the business. Yes, I will enjoy selling my stuff. I love meeting people, but I want to be able to continue this and go to other places and you know have them come to festivals and stuff to see me as well. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting and interesting. Not to mention possibly my other festivals the following year and stuff. I am hoping to get to a lot more fairy festivals and stuff, so you'll get a lot of recordings and stuff of that probably. But I am going to be wanting to get on to doing my new fairy dress and making that for the festival as well. All of my ones that I've gone in, I have decorated and done up just from buying basic skirts and tops and just putting them together and doing magical things on them, adding leaves and things like that. So this one's going to be on another scale, and it's going to be a bit different because I am attempting to try to make it so that this fairy skirt and dress will be slightly more shorter, not as long as what I normally go for, and then a longer bit going to the side and the back. And it's going to have all leaves, and it's going to have beautiful things coming down it, and it's going to have flowers and leaves and stuff attached to it, butterflies. Because obviously, yeah, I'm a forest fairy, forest pixie. Um, so yeah, and I'm going to make my crown. That'll probably be my first crown I'm going to try and make is my own crown, just to see how it goes, because then it's me that's got to wear it if it goes slightly wrong. Um, Trial and error makes you perfect, as they say. Um, but I don't think I'm going to have any problem with doing any of this sort of stuff because I am very creative that way, and I have a very sense of seeing things and hitting things how I want to see them. Um, that's what I'm doing it for. Is starting a business up. So not just doing it online for people to buy, but I will be going to festivals and stuff where there is people like me that'll be there. So I'll be able to go around and still be part of the festival, go to stalls, buy things, but I'll also be selling there myself. So what I'm going to be doing is what I'm hoping to do when I do get the trader license and stuff like that is to be selling all of my fairy items that I make, selling the dresses and things and the crowns that I make as well as everything else. And at some point in the future, I would like to be able to bring in a photo shoot as well, where I'll have like different little dresses and bits made and little crowns, and adults and children can come in and have photos done with me as a fairy, and they can look like fairies themselves and do. But that's going to be later on down the line. At the minute, my focus is just doing the fairy stuff and the dresses and the crowns, and seeing how I go. I don't paint myself as the most perfect artist and that I'm perfect at everything, but I will put my love and my effort into this, and I will do my best. I have been watching a lot of videos on how to sew properly and different stitches, and how to get different shapes and things and stuff like that. So I'm getting a gist. To be honest, with the sewing side of it, I'm not too bad, and I've done my own dresses, so I am quite confident about that. But it's all of the other style that I'm going to bring into it, and it's a more complicated dress this time. If I can do this, I can do anything. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. See how it goes. That's all we can do. Yeah, jewelry. I'm going to be making fairy necklaces and fairy bracelets. I'm going to be making some fairy sun catchers as well. So I've got a lot of plans, a lot of ideas. So when you look at it, going through the list, fairy crowns, dresses, fairy costumes, um, different types of fairy doors and fairy houses, fairy um, little flat molds. I'm gonna have up different types of like little flowers and bumblebees and things that I'm gonna be putting into pictures and stuff like that. I'm also going to be making a little family box, so where I make some of the molds, but I don't paint them, and I put them in a box, and I put like some glitter in there, some leaves, a couple of the little flower bits that I make. Putting in some little crystals and just putting little things, and they can make their own little fairy house or their own little fairy door, and doing that as the package as well. Sis just say something. I just missed it. Thank you, my sweetheart, for coming in, and I hope that you have a lovely walk with your dog and your dogs, and I hope that you enjoy your time with your daughter as well, sweetheart. Have a blessed day, and thank you for coming in and supporting me. Sending you lots of love, light, and blessings, sweetheart. I'll talk to you very soon. Keep an eye out for my shows. I will be on quite a lot doing all my crafting and stuff to do with the business. So if you want to keep up on what I'm doing, I will be around in the evenings. A bit earlier than this, but I will be around. Love you lots, sis. Talk to you soon. So I've done the fairy stencil. I have not got round to doing the butterflies yet. I think what I might do is because like it's 12, nearly 12:30 here. So me starting the butterflies at this time is probably going to be a bit silly because I'm going to be covered in paint again. So I'm probably going to put them on tomorrow. I'll probably do some of the fairies, the butterflies tomorrow. So there will be another live stream tomorrow for that. And I'm going to be tidying my wood and everything out of my garden tomorrow. So I won't go live for doing that because I'll be having help and getting that moved. But ready to go Monday. but I will be here for doing the butterflies, and then I'll do you some after and before pictures before they go up and when they're up, because I have to get people to help me to do that because of my legs and my arms and stuff. So, but yeah, it's going to be amazing. And then from then on, it's going to be literally, yeah, like I said, I've got to get my hallway done, but I'll probably just do that and just do like a before short video and do a video after showing you and explaining everything. I won't do that live because it takes ages to do that. And again, I'll probably have people here helping me. So I know I will. So yeah, we'll do that. But all of the shows for crafting from now on is going to be to do with my business. So whenever you see anything saying crafting, business and stuff, you know that that's going to be what it is. It's going to be either making crowns or making molds, painting them, making pictures, doing things, making things look beautiful. At the minute, I'm going to be focusing on making a few of my bits to actually put into my fairy houses, my fairy gardens that I'm going to be making. So I'm going to be making some fairy houses and stuff for it. And I'll buy a few. Be making fairy furniture and selling that as well, making like tables, chairs, benches, uh, little trunks, little beds. I'll make like little hammocks and stuff as well, and there'll be things that I'll be selling as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming, guys, and you're going to be seeing me do all of this, and you'll be able to join in with the fun. We'll have all fairy music on. We'll be getting all arty and crafty and excited because it's going to all be used for the business and stuff, which I'm hopefully going to be starting up next year. Obviously, yeah, I'm hoping that by the end of this year, people will be able to start seeing things on the pages ready to be sold the following year. This year is just literally just launching my pages, getting my bits on there, making the stuff, and just seeing what people's opinions are with everything. I'm not at that stage to be selling it all yet. And I want to try to like build myself a following for it as well. So that's why these festivals and stuff would be really good to go to. Festivals, witchy markets, things like that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So yeah, thank you for joining me today, guys, and I hope that you did enjoy seeing me putting my fairy bit together on the wall. For anybody that did miss it and didn't see it, go back to the start and you'll be able to see where I done my fairy slash goddess of nature on my wall through stenciling. So yeah, that it come out really beautiful and it's absolutely stunning. And I'm probably going to take a picture of it and I'm going to use that as my screenshot on for my video. I'm probably going to do the same with my mushroom one that I done yesterday as well. But yeah, it looks stunning. So thank you for joining me for this craft, which was my fairy den crafting, making my magical stencil of my fairy slash goddess, and for listening to me rabbit on about fairies and about all of my plans and ideas and showing you things. I do appreciate that. Tomorrow, as I said, the garden stuff, I'll get that done, and then I'll probably be on early evening tomorrow, and we will start doing the butterflies, and I'll probably show you all of the other bits that I've got for my business as well for you guys to see. So all of the bits for making the headdresses and crowns and all that sort of stuff, and all of the beautiful decoration bits that I've got to decorate up clothing and decorate up any of my items that I'm making with resin or my crafting mold powders. That is, it's like a plaster. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. So I'll show you all my bits that I got. I have put stuff up on Facebook, but it'd be nice to show it on there as well. So yeah, that'll be tomorrow, guys. So it'll be early evening more than likely. So just catch up with me then, and you'll be able to see what I'm doing and see me doing my butterflies and stuff. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So thank you for joining. I am going to cut off now, angels. My enchanted ones, stay real. Remember that magic is real, and keep the magic in your life, because you've got a fairy here that loves you. So love back, and I will see you all very, very soon. Stay enchanted, my angels, and I'll see you for the next show very, very soon. Blessed be from me and the fairies.